And we're back. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Cavalry.
Back in action, full force.
Full force. I'm very excited. We have a very special guest, hilarious comedian here in Portland, Oregon, just like myself, Susan Rice. What's up, Susan?
I was just filling out my Santa letter. Evidently, I'm late. How are you guys?
Yeah, you're not going to get it in time. There's a supply chain issue.
Right. Well, he's never written me back anyway. He's just like every other man in my life. Just another guy that doesn't meet my needs.
Well, this is good. This is about as good as I've ever done for an intro. Usually we have comedians on and we don't give any credits or tell anybody anything about them.
Oh.
And so we just kind of launch into it. I don't know.
You can just keep that. Yeah, you keep me under wraps is fine.
Okay.
Nobody wants to be associated with our podcast.
Yeah,
I think your podcast is great. It makes me laugh.
Most people use like a pen name or something, like those authors. But hey, I did want to. There's one thing I was laughing about. Susan is so funny. She really. I don't want to blow smoke up your ass, but you are like one of the funniest comedians. And my favorite part, though, sometimes is when you're off stage. And you're waiting to go on, because Susan does this thing that's so funny. She'll just sit, and she might be looking at her phone like a millennial or something, just looking at her Facebook or whatever. And then, but she's listening. She's always listening to the comic on stage. And so, like for instance, there was I don't know if you even remember this, Susan, but we did that show, and there was someone on stage, Julia Corral was on stage, and she was talking about an illness. She said some sort of rare illness, and Susan, like, it looks like she's not paying attention, but then she just says, "Oh God, you don't want that." It's like, but she'll just say things not looking at the comic, but obviously listening and talk. She's like, "I don't know what this guy's talking about," but never look up from her phone.
I didn't. Simon Gibson completely lost me. He kept repeating what he was saying, and I kept saying, even when you repeat it, I still don't get that. What the hell you're trying to get to? I'm just so confused. I was so confused.
But it's such a great power move to sit and not even look up and comment on the show.
It's called aging and no filter. Is what it's called. That's what it is. That is it. So anyway, yeah, that was a nice night. It was surprising. We did a little thing on Thanksgiving. That was nice.
Yeah, we did a benefit to raise money for the food bank, which Johnny and I do these Zoom shows all the time that are supposedly money goes to the food bank, but we're not really sure.
How do you guys?
I just did one. That's why I'm dressed like this.
Oh, well, you look very nice.
Well, thank you. I normally don't.
Well, it's I don't know how you guys don't just drink heavily after doing a Zoom show, because there you go. Thank you. I'm telling you, it just rapes my soul to do them. I just can't even tell you. I'm just not good at them, because pretty soon I'm muting myself. I don't even
during your set.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is wrong. This is all wrong. But anyway, I admire you guys for doing it.
Courtney did that. He actually did mute himself halfway through his set, and they had to tell him, "Up, we can't hear you." And he's like, "Oh, my elbow hit it."
Yeah, and there's a reason you can't hear me, because I'm screaming into the screen, going, "My career is over."
I know, but that's the thing. It's like nobody's doing these Zoom shows, I think, because they like them. It's just out of desperation. It was out of
desperation.
You
had one of the best lines I've ever heard. I was so angry when I heard you do we did a show together, and you were before me, and I was listening to your set, and you did this whole thing about how you used to look at produce, and it had to be organic, and it had to be from a certain region that they were all in it. And now you're just throwing shit in your cart going, "I don't care anymore. It's all going to be over." So
right.
It was along those, John. I obviously don't do it justice.
No, it's the free range eggs. Right. It's like, if I don't get to be free range, then why are my eggs?
I was dying. I'm going, why didn't I write that? Yeah. Why didn't I? Because it's the same thing. You're buying, bread. You would give me the Franz bread. I don't care.
Yeah, Franz.
Give me the whitest bread you have. I don't care.
Wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Dave's
so,
Killer Bread is such a luxury now. I go way below
so
Dave's.
expensive.
And that's what I learned about this, but you know he calls it Dave's Killer Bread? Johnny, have we ever talked about this? Do you guys get Dave's Killer Bread? You seem like a Dave's Killer Bread household maybe.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife likes it. I don't like it.
You don't like
Yeah.
it too many seeds, right?
Too many seeds and stuff, isn't it? And it
It's-
is expensive.
It's truly
Yeah.
colon blow. It's really just you're not really eating it. You're renting it. So it's like why.
But the guy, they call it Dave's Killer Bread because that guy's actually a murderer.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who
He's in
invented it.
prison, right?
He went to jail. Yeah, he went to prison for murder, and then now it's like a funny joke. He named his bread Killer Bread. It's like, think about the victim's family. Has to see that all the time. It's like the most famous.
There's probably
bread now.
reparations going back to them. Probably.
Oh yeah, maybe they make it. Maybe
Yeah.
they like it. Maybe they get a buck off of every bag. That's why it's so
That's gonna
expensive.
start being the trend. The new, Steve's rape oatmeal.
Right.
So you had to go right. You had to go right for rape. See, we should have started with like Jeremy's embezzlement crackers or something, but you had to go straight for the jugular. There's nowhere else to go.
That's
right.
And I think Susan brought up rape before when she said it raped
I
herself.
said, rape
So
myself.
we're already two.
We're two rape jokes in. Yeah, we are. Two
Great.
rape jokes. I know. Well,
What are you gonna do?
That's what happens.
That's what happens. And then now, for those of you listening at home, Johnny got me this wonderful cavalry hat and
Those are
Christmas
very
present.
cool.
You're always sending me stuff. I feel like I don't send you as much stuff as you send me. So now
I've only
I'm
sent
self-conscious.
you the hat. The rest was all you sent me the stickers first, but that was like to help pass out to the fans. So every time I send you buttons and stuff, that's to give
Susan,
away.
though,
You just give them to your wife.
We got these stickers. I got these stickers. I thought it was being cool. I was like, oh, this is great. And they're literally like the size of a postage stamp. They're like so small.
I have done that. I've ordered I've ordered stickers, and then gone, oh, wait a minute, and I go back in and I look at the actual sizing because I never read that stuff.
I know. I would never think they would make them that small.
And I call them up and go, cancel the order.
Yeah.
Because
Andrew forgot to cancel.
Well, I just didn't look. I just didn't. You're smart enough to like check before they get there.
I'm terrible about that stuff. I'm terrible about checking for the real details. I buy a cabinet and go, oh, I love this cabinet. And then it comes in, I can't get it in the door. Oh, that's good. Okay, how do we do that? Jesus, just terrible. Yeah, when I first bought my house. Yeah.
Isn't it amazing like how much furniture you can't get in the door unless you take the door off the hinges and then it fits. It's like, how come there's that much stuff that's only, you're like an inch off. You're only talking about like an extra inch or two of room, but there's so much stuff that fits through that, but not through the door part.
Well, I don't take advice either. When I bought this house, I didn't want to buy a bed for my front bedroom because I didn't want people to encourage people to stay for a while. So I thought, well, I'll get a hide-a-bed. Everybody hates a hide-a-bed. Yeah. And so I bought one and I can't get rid of it. I want to get rid of it and actually.
But nobody wants to take it off your hands.
You can't donate them. You can't dump them. You can't do anything. They're just there for the duration now. There's nothing. I don't know what you do with it.
They're like nuclear power plants.
Yeah.
You borrow someone's truck, you put it in the bed of their truck, and then really, really late at night, you just drive really fast and zigzag with the back bed door open.
Oh, that's
it'll take care. The problem will solve itself.
I know. Susan, I love that you live in Portland, Oregon, and you're worried about where to get rid of your hide-a-bed. Anywhere. Just any old place is fine.
What is that? I mean, honest to God, do they do that where you are, Johnny? Because people put just crap out on the boulevard or on the parking strip, and it's like, why is it sitting here? Why did you put that old nasty mattress out in the rain just sitting there? Who's gonna?
Yeah,
take
I've seen that. I've seen that here in Madison. But I mean, isn't it gone a couple days later?
No, not necessarily. Not in my neighborhood. It's an invitation to set up a tent. It's basically
someone living under it.
They're building the house backwards. Like, okay, I got the hide-a-bed.
I got that.
I'll get the lamp. You know,
That's how you plant a house. You just
Well,
put a
yeah.
mattress down.
maybe some
House.
drywall will grow around it.
This is
and
the
then,
city where you don't look under a tarp. Just don't look under a tarp. If there's a tarp, don't look under it. That you don't want to look under the tarp. But anyway, yeah, that's.
I have a theory though. I have a theory why there
Yeah.
you see more like trash in Portland on the streets and such, because it's what do you call that? Counterintuitive or something? Because there's so many people in Portland obsessed with recycling, right? So much so that I don't know, Johnny, have you seen these things? They're called Ridwell, but they're like an extra. I think I talked about this before, but like it's a little box you put in front of your house. It's like an extra recycle. It's like to
They will
throw
take
batteries,
they will take things that won't that
like
our
rare
landfill
things
won't
you're
take.
not
Oh,
supposed
no,
to
I've
just.
never heard of that.
Because most people would just in other places just throw batteries in the trash, right? Like I think that's the common.
I have oh I
or
I
like
have
just
bags of batteries that I put
Right.
Everyone knows you're not
electrical
supposed
tape
to
on.
trash 'em.
everyone knows you're not supposed to, but a lot of
But they do.
people don't worry about it, right? And so it just ends up in the landfill eventually, and I guess that's bad. But
Very bad.
very bad. But in Portland, everyone's very fastidious about which trash item goes in which bin, right? And there's yard waste, recycling, the Ridwell thing. Where do you take your sleeper? There's a special place for your paint. There's all these special places to take your trash. And I think it overwhelms people, and so they go to hell with it. I'm just dumping it on the side of the highway. I think that's the problem, is we make it so hard. Like we would be better off being like one of those places like Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they don't even have recycling, because at least there it all ends up in the same.
Have you
bin.
been to Tulsa?
Well, yeah, but I've just. That's my theory anyway. That's my working. Because like
The whole
There is a
state
lot of
dumping
litter.
ground. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
yeah.
What exactly is what happens? What is bad about the battery thing? Like what happens if you just
It'll
don't-
ruin the
it
landfill.
has acid in it. Batteries have acid in them.
I know,
They're
but
small.
Not all batteries are small, but yeah, but you
Well, I'm
know,
not throwing car
it's
batteries. over.
cumulative and they won't break down. And it's
it'll leak into the groundwater or something.
it leaks into the ground. Well, yeah, exactly. It has to
Oh.
do with water. Water is really important. So yeah.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah, it's all-
That's
all
what
about
it
that.
is. It ruins the water supply.
Yeah, you idiot.
It can, yeah. And here's a little fun fact. When you take your batteries out of the smoke detectors once a year, when you switch out your batteries so
Yeah.
your smoke detectors don't go out,
Theoretically, yes.
you got to put a piece of electrical tape across the top of them.
They'll start a fire.
Yeah, they'll start a fire. If you don't put and they sit in a bag next to each other, they still have enough. They have enough charge in them that they can start a fire.
Wow.
Yeah, I've heard.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, I heard that, and
You're saying when you take the dead batteries out, you
not
tape
necessarily.
'em.
They're not
It's
necessarily
the
dead.
square. What are those ones called? The square ones that go in smoke detectors, because the
Yeah.
plus and the minus are next to each other. Regular batteries, they're on the opposite ends, so that doesn't really happen.
Right.
But with the
But
square
I don't
ones,
change my I don't change my smoke detector batteries once a year. I wait for it to beep at me.
Well, okay, but that doesn't necessarily mean the battery is completely dead.
Oh, okay.
That's the problem, is that they're still charging them. Anyway, that's
Well, that's good to know.
That's just a little something from me to you.
That's
That's just
that
a
is
little
great.
FYI.
That is good advice.
So, since you
That
are a
was, that was
homeowner,
a fun fact.
it is a fun fact, And that's about it. So nice to see you guys. I'm taking off. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Susan,
I've
for
shot
joining
my
us.
wad.
Thank you for
Here you
fun.
go. That's it.
She
Hints
shot her wad.
Hints
On
from an
battery
old
talk.
hints from an old broad. That's what it is. Johnny, how long have you been doing stand up?
Too long. I started in '99.
Okay.
I would always stretch it to make it longer when I started out. Like, oh, I've been doing this 5 years, 6 years, and now I'm like, kind of going the other way, where I'm like, 10 years, only 10.
There is that
Yeah.
weird time, Susan. I don't know
That's
if you ever
great.
experienced that, but like, there's that thing in stand up where, yeah, you don't want to be doing it. You don't want to be new. You don't want to be green. You don't want to be saying I've only been doing it 6 months. But
Right.
you also, there's a point, I think about 10 years, where you don't want to be doing it much longer than that and only have gotten to where you've gotten in 10 years. So then there's like Johnny said, there's an instinct to say a little less. But
Yeah.
now I've been doing it like 16 15 years, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like now it's like I'm whatever, just whatever.
But
it
you
is.
have had a lot
It
of
doesn't matter.
success. You've had a lot of success. So
Well, it's all
yeah.
relative, but
Well, yeah, it's only as good as your last. But anyway,
Yeah.
but
no, it's yeah. So
I go the other way because I've been doing it so long.
How long have you been doing it?
It'll be 39 years in March.
Oh, so
19
okay, so that's longer than me.
Yeah, that's longer than you. 1983.
Wow.
And I
So
went.
you were there during the sweet spot when it
Yeah,
was,
we were in the
everyone
sweet
brags
spot.
about, oh, you could make a living as a host.
And we did. I tripled my income when I quit my day job.
Wow.
And I quit my day job. I started in 83, quit my day job in 85, and tripled my income doing just opening.
You just never hear that story.
No, you never hear that.
Never hear it
You
again.
imagine.
And the problem is that money hasn't changed since then.
No.
So, but yeah, and now it's I don't when they ask me, because my thing is, Johnny, is I don't mentor them. I just take these kids on the road, and then they're in the car with me, and then I just rip them apart one side down the other. But they don't, when they make the mistake of asking me, well, what was it like? How long were you in it, before you got your first television shot? It was less than 6 years.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was a national. So it was like, you don't say that. I don't tell them that. I just did, but I mean, I'm just saying, because it's so different now. You guys it's so much harder for them. It's so much harder.
It's harder, and it's more
it's been watered down.
It's more random.
Right.
You just, it's like there's so much more competition, and probably the same number of like television spots or opportunities.
Right. There's even less. I mean, there's really less. You have less
Yeah.
opportunities for that. And back then they were giving stand-ups, big deals. They were guys were getting, $125,000 holding deals, and they'd been in the business 7 years or 6 years, that kind of thing. They were getting huge writing deals. Those are just they're not as prevalent as they were then. And so it's such a different beast now. And I have so much respect for you guys because you're raising a family. Johnny, do you have children?
Yeah, I have 3 kids.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. You have some really big decisions to make, especially as a stand-up.
I think you
look
depressed.
so happy.
You're scaring me.
I think you scared the shit out of Johnny because the way he answered that question, he was like thinking of how he could get rid of a few kids. It's like, yeah, I got 3 kids.
It's
No, but we know where we're at now.
hard.
I mean, yeah, we it's just I'm comfortable with the way it is now, and I understand like how you gotta like just find your niche. You gotta carve out your little spot, find a way you can be valuable to people, and try and make some money. And there's really no. What are you gonna do? Something else? I mean,
and you guys are not comparisons. You don't compare yourself as much as back in the day when it was so one-upman. I'm
Right.
going to do this. I'm going to do that. I mean, this stuff. It was just, you kind of go with the flow. It's really nice.
And I feel like stand up is like split off a little bit more from. It's like everything's much more specialized now. There's people the podcasters who are just podcasters. That's all they do. They just podcast. They don't even they're not trying to make a TV show. Or like, I feel like back before it was like you were a stand-up comedian and they're like, okay, how do I get into movies, TV, everything, writing. I'm maybe hosting. I'm going to do the whole package or whatever. And now people are very content, I think, to just sort of like find their lane and stick to it and see if there's a way to like make it profitable.
Yeah. There was such a stigma about if you had been a road comic or been a stand-up for a certain length of time, you get tired, you get really wired, you just get, you're done, you just, and you start walking into your closet to go to the bathroom when you get home because you don't know where the hell you are, which I used to do all the time. And, and then like the ships became available, and they didn't used to hire women stand-ups. I think Susie Laux and I were like one of the only, maybe Becky Blaney, were doing the ships in the early 90s before, really, they didn't hire women on the ships. So, but then you got, now you're a ship comic, this kind of stuff. Well, yeah, because I got tired of not making money.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
Now
I got
you're a
tired.
lucrative career comic.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, there was always this. You're always disappointing somebody, especially an agent. If you lived in LA and you're a comic and you had to make money, so you're on the road, you weren't there for auditions. So there's always something. But I admire the guys that, you strive to have a normal life, and good for you. And that's, that pretty much. I'm sure that having those babies drives you right to where you need to be. That's motivation.
Yeah, I think I was never the most ambitious person in the world, and getting married getting married and then having the baby. I don't know, Johnny, it pushed me a little bit. Like I was like, I definitely want
Johnny
to
looks stunned.
Oh no, it totally did. Totally put a fire under my ass. Like, geez,
Yeah.
I gotta
The other
gotta
thing
stop
is like,
dicking around.
I don't know, I did this gig in North Dakota this weekend, and
Always bragging. You're always
I
bragging.
know, Bismarck,
Always
baby.
bragging.
You ever been to Bismarck in
The
December?
capital?
Yes,
You
I
got to the
have.
capital?
I have
Oh yeah, the
driven.
Capitol that isn't a dome; it's just an office building. It looks like
It's
shit.
so weird.
It looks like the thing Timothy McVeigh bombed. It's like,
It's just like this little city that if you go 5 feet out of the boundaries, you like disappear.
yeah, the bad
It's
ones.
weird. It's
They
really
literally
weird.
call him the bad. But I there was a feature, and he's a nice guy. I can't remember his name. He's a nice guy, funny guy. But I had to. I flew in, but then we were gonna go to lunch or something. So he picked me up from the hotel, and the host was sitting in the front. So I sat in the back seat of the feature comics car, and my feet were like ankle deep in fast food bags and trash.
Oh
It's
God.
like, oh man, that
remember
road
those
life,
days?
that Midwestern feature car is
Oh,
so
yeah.
disgusting because they drive everywhere.
They do.
Yeah.
And for a woman to be, I used to just get in strangers' cars all the time.
I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, it was crazy. And there was one guy that picked me up who had just broken up with his girlfriend. He was so angry and hated all women. And the hood of his car, he picked me up in Omaha at the airport. The hood of his car, it was just a shit car. And the hood would fly up. We'd be on the freeway and the hood would just fly right up. And I was just, and he's calling me names. He's just taking it all out on me.
Oh God.
And
Whoa.
I was just like, okay. So we pulled over to pull the hood, put the hood down, and I took the keys out of the ignition, and I said, we have to have a little talk because you and I are not going to do this. This is not going to happen.
Wow.
You're not going to talk to me like that any longer. I bought your gas, all this, but it was just really, it was a weird thing to be on the road. But in the Midwest, you're right. It's just they get in those cars and they just drive in these flat 2-lane, 4-lane highways.
Yeah.
They go forever. It's like,
Oh man.
Spend a lot of time.
That's such a dangerous thing for a hood of a car but it's also very funny. Like the image of that is hilarious.
It's
just driving down the freeway like pop, and then it's like, oh, we can't see shit. And then
I
it's
know.
like,
And
we're all
it's
gonna
just-
die.
And he would just keep driving for a little while until, hoping it would fall down. You gotta go.
Don't worry.
Hey, I'm leaning out the window going, hey, stay in the lane. You're not in the lane. I'm checking the lane on this side.
Oh,
Yeah, it'll go down in a minute. Don't worry.
One time,
it goes
do
down. Calm down.
you know Chris Fonseca?
I don't.
You've never heard of Chris Fonseca?
I've heard the name. I can't.
Oh my God, he has cerebral palsy. He's absolutely,
yeah.
he's absolutely hysterical. He's one of the best writers. He used to write for.
Don't they call him Crazy Legs?
Yeah, Crazy Legs. And he wrote for Leno for years. I mean, he would, he was never in Hollywood. He would just send stuff on. Just a great writer. But he thought he'd get me back one night, and so he talked this guy into. This guy was going to give us a ride home from the club, and Fonseca said, "Let me." And Chris can't see for shit, and he can't, and he was driving this car, and he'd been drinking like crazy. And he pulls up, and I look at him, I go, I'm not getting in the car with you. He's going, come on, it's gonna be fun. I'm going, oh my God, oh my God. Anyway, but he used to get the guys to let him drive on the freeway. And I just went, you're crazy. Because I mean,
I thought the prank was going to be that he like was in the driver's seat and he was like, but he hadn't actually driven and he was trying to like scare you.
He drove up.
But the prank is that he's a horrible driver who can't see, and then he was going to risk all of your lives.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, he's having spasms and stuff. Bless his heart. He was, he was an amazing. This is a very brave person. I was always amazed at when he would get on stage. It would take 3 guys to get him up on the stage with his chair and stuff like that, and he was just, and then he couldn't do 10 minutes. It wasn't possible. He always did at least 45.
Oh, okay.
But it was always a great show. I mean, it was just, you just kind of went, okay, well, there goes my time. It's fine. I'll do 15 minutes as a closer and say goodnight. They've already had a headliner because Chris is very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know where we got off on that, but anyway,
that's great. Hey, that's well, maybe this is a good time to ask you. So the show, that was a little pre-show banter, get us started, but we try to back each other up on the show. So Susan, do you need backup on anything?
So did Andrew explain?
Yes, I did.
I always get in trouble.
He did. He did. Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of.
I told Andrew, I go, I live alone. There's nobody here to argue with me. Anyway, I mean, I was like, I was trying to think of the things that my family does that I don't do, and then when I don't do it, they get really mad at me. Like I don't return things.
I like it already.
If I order something, and it's A, the wrong size, or B, something I don't like, or whatever, I have a whole room full of stuff. I donate it. I don't return stuff. It's terrible. That's why I shouldn't order online. I just don't.
No,
return them.
I'll back you up on that for sure, because you're so right. I feel like most places, I guess some places try to make it easy to return stuff, but most places make it so onerous. And the idea of actually figuring out a way to mail something back, even if it's like Amazon, just leave it on the front.
It's
too intimidating.
Label? Where do I put the label? No? And the other thing is that I have stood in line at like Target and stuff like that, and had to listen to people's stupid excuses and the crap when they're returning, and they give these people. I worked customer service for 18 years, and it's like, it's amazing I haven't been arrested for just clocking somebody, because honest to God, you just want to, there's been Karens in my life all my life, and
isn't it weird? There's finally a name for that thing that everyone's.
It's sad because I know lovely Karens.
I know, my mom's a Karen.
I know. We talked about that.
Yeah.
But these bitches that are they just won't. I'm sorry, should we not?
Not Andrew's mom.
No, these bitches.
No, not Andrew's mom.
Not Karen.
I'm sure she's lovely.
She is.
I bet she is.
But I'm sure
she is.
Had some rough customer service experiences in her life, but I had
that today, actually. I chastised somebody for being a bad customer service rep.
Oh, wait, in what capacity?
I have, I wear different glasses. My glasses are really important to me. It's just something, I don't spend money on clothes. I don't spend money on cars. My glasses are important to me. I just love them. I have to wear them because I'm blind as a bat.
Trademark.
And it's a very expensive place that I buy my glasses at. And I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars over the years at this place. And I went in just to have new lenses put in, a set of mine, my red ones that I love so much. Mm-hmm. And they broke them.
They broke the lenses?
They broke my frames.
Oh.
And I was upset. I came in and they had left me a message, and I walked in and I don't usually yell at customer service people because I was one. And I came in and I said, I'm here because, so-and-so called me and they broke my lenses, they broke my frames. And I said, I'm not really happy about this at all. I let her know what I was feeling,
Mm-hmm.
if she couldn't read it, because I'm really not a hard read. And she says, oh, sometimes that just happens. And I took a beat and I said, that is the wrong answer. That is the wrong response to my dilemma.
Yeah.
Sit down, call the back room and tell them I'm here. And she goes, oh, well, I didn't. I said,
You
no
blew
more.
it. Too late.
I'm not going to, no, that's,
Well, so what do they do?
This face is saying, fuck you. Do you read that? That's what the face is saying. Anyway, they're going to be very nice about it. And I of course I calmed down, but they can't replace him.
But so you worked in customer service. So it's like, it's so true. And I overheard a guy at the airlines recently, because those guys get yelled at all the time,
all the time.
And what he said was like, what they really just want is to be heard. There's nothing you can do. You can't make the plane turn around, or you can't make the snow go away. They just want to be heard.
Right.
And then you throw them something like,
and the first thing out of their mouth shouldn't be an excuse.
Right.
Should be, I'm really sorry you've had that experience.
Yeah.
Let me find out what's happened, and then go to the back room. I mean, I did that day after day, day after day, day after day. And it's just, it could have been diffused, and I could have, and that the poor guy that came out, I'm sure she went back there and said, she's going to rip your face off, and, and I really shouldn't be this way in my life, because Andrew knows I can't run. There's no running. I can't run away from things. People are just I'm going to end up dead in an alley.
Well, I don't think they're going to kill you.
Well, I'm going to get clocked because I will say something to somebody that's not going to, but anyway, so yeah, so that was today. So do you guys return stuff?
Ooh. So this is a fresh topic.
Yeah, that was fresh today. That just happened. So you're the first people to know.
I basically spend, 40% of my existence returning shit my wife bought for herself.
Okay. Well, that's. I wish I had somebody to do that.
Yeah. See, that's why you should get married, Susan. Is just someone can take back all that crap in the spare room.
It would take too long. The guy that I'd marry probably be, in a chair or on a walker or something. Just. I look like I've got a pension of some kind. So that's the only guys that hit on me anymore. So, anyway.
I just don't buy things that might be like this whole
men
thing
don't
of
return
buying
things.
clothes, unless you have that shirt and you know what size that shirt is. You rip the sleeve and you know exactly what, because every clothes fits different. Like don't buy clothes online. If I
know.
My wife has bought shoes that. She's been like, no, these are too tight, and then she'll switch them. Nah, these are too big. I'm like, oh, are you kidding? This is not a fitting room. We're ordering this shit.
I know, and I feel the same way about shoes. But I'll tell you, that's the hardest thing to do is buy a pair of shoes. And nobody wants to go to a store and try on shoes. I just don't. I will buy shoes online and then I will donate them. I'm telling you, the Vietnam vets have made a lot of money off of me because they come and pick it up, and that's perfect.
That's interesting. I haven't heard anyone make that point, but like how they keep talking about the supply chain and the trucks are overloaded and the shippings. How much of that is just shit going back and forth? That it's just
wrong size.
Half of it's like returns. If people just didn't return everything like you and just donated it, we would solve this whole problem.
Well, yeah,
you're a hero.
Well, I'm not a financial wizard, that's for sure. So yeah, I mean, I try to really get better at that.
No, we don't return. Both my wife and I have the aversion to it. We both don't like doing it, and I did the same thing. I've instinctively at Target will buy like formula, like if I see it, I'll buy a big thing of formula for the baby. And then I'm not thinking like
just
she's
for
not.
You.
Yeah. Yeah. I like a little taste.
Yeah.
You know, one for you,
Right.
one for daddy.
That's right.
Right.
So,
but so I just bought a huge thing of it, just not even absent-mindedly because I was there and I saw it. It's like, well, we'll always need it. But the baby doesn't drink for, we were like 1 week away from her switching to whole milk. So
Right.
now I have this giant thing and they're like $40. They're not
Yeah.
cheap, So but then I'm not going to take it back to Target, So instead I gave it to the churches or whoever takes baby stuff.
right.
But
Well, that was nice of you.
yeah, but then the other thing we don't do is my wife will buy stuff at Target in the store and like it, but then they'll have the little security deal on it and they won't always remember to pop it off.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, oh, now we have to go back to the store and explain to them, no, I didn't steal this. That's going to be an awkward conversation. So I've gotten really good. If you ever do steal stuff at Target, I've gotten amazing at popping those off. I can do it. I can do it in like 2 seconds. I'm so good at it.
What do you use?
A screwdriver, a big fat flathead screwdriver, and you slip it
Aren't they
in.
supposed to like get ink all over the clothes or no?
No, these just have the sharp pin,
Oh, okay.
and then
They
so
have
it's
the
like
sensor, just the sensor.
it's
Yeah,
a sensor
okay.
and then a pin, and so
Yeah.
the idea is that if you rip it, the pin will rip the clothes. So what you do is you slide in the for all you thieves out there, you slide in the flathead screwdriver and you twist it, and it pops it open, and then you kind of leverage it that way, and you just pop it open.
Wow. There was
I also know how to
I worked with
steal
a
a
comic.
bike.
I worked with a comic that had one of those. He had one of those the gadgets that they use at the store.
Oh my God,
No.
really? Oh, he's probably a millionaire.
Wow. He used to, yeah. Oh, let's go shopping. No, I'm not going shopping with you. No, no. But no, what was it you said you had? You have a gadget. What was it? No, it's something. You just said something that was good.
Oh, well, I said if I know how to steal a bike too, because you know how to break a U-lock on a bike?
No.
Because one time this person in LA said, you can have this bike if you can get the U-lock off. I lost the key and it's ruined. And it was locked through the spoke
Right.
of the wheel
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'll give it a shot, So I went on Craigslist and tried to find a guy who a bike guy who knew how to do it. I thought it could pick the lock,
Yeah.
But I found this guy. He said he could, but he didn't. He had no idea. He just was banging at it with a hammer. He had no chance.
Yeah, I'll smash it
There's
like a
some guy-
caveman.
And it was so funny because it was at his apartment. It was at his apartment, and his girlfriend was in the house, encouraging him with his bike business and all this. And he had all these bikes in there, and he's out there banging on this hammer. And I was like, I'm gonna give him $40 if it's just so stupid, the whole thing. So then I get on my phone, I just look on YouTube. You use a car jack. So you take a car jack and you put it between inside the U, and you just jack it out until it pops.
There you go.
There
Yeah.
you go. See, this is going to be a very useful.
We have
episode.
learned about batteries. We've learned about
Yeah.
about sensor strips on clothes, and now we've
Right.
learned about you.
If you want to steal a bike and start a fire, we've told you how to.
Okay.
and ruin the
accomplish
city's
that.
water supply.
Yeah, and poison the city's. If you want to be a Batman villain, we've taught you how to do it
Yeah.
on the
Well,
podcast.
there you go.
So
That's
Susan, did you have any other ones or no? Anything
Uh,
else you needed backup?
I have so many friends that are coupon cut. They clip coupons all the time.
Okay.
That's all they do. And they give me all kinds of crap because if I want to buy it, I just buy it. It's like
Yes.
it's the coupon thing and I stood in line behind this gal, and I should be this old gal now that does this just to piss the people off in line because I've earned that right now to do that. But she was, and I have to say, she saved a ton of money. Her full bill was at Fred Meyer's was like $169, and she took out this whole wad of coupons, and he started scanning them, and she got it down to like $67.
Oh my God.
I know.
But-
it was amazing.
But it sounds like she was like the coupons dictate what she buys.
Exactly.
She had
Exactly.
19 12 packs of Sprite. It's like, did you really want all that Sprite?
I know and Hot Pockets, I guess they're a big deal now because there's a supply chain problem. But then it's like, and how much of her day is spent going through coupons and doing, all this
That's what I was gonna
research.
say. It's like, okay, you saved $100, but if you spent 4 hours, so you charge your time at $25 an hour, unless you. I think what it is they enjoy.
Well, in my house, it's still minimum wage, but I'm $7.25, baby. That's it. That's all I'm worth. But anyway, yes, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, I think what it is they probably enjoy. It's like a puzzle or something. It's like doing a Sudoku.
And there are people, and that's really that's their thing, and that's their, and I have a really good friend, smartest woman I've ever met. She was a stand-up for a long time, and she married a stand-up, and her career ended. It happens a lot. Anyway, but she is really smart about money and stuff like that, and she will say, and it's not so much groceries and stuff. It's always big ticket items like televisions and stereos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she will find me a deal if I need something. She will always go, "Oh, I got you something," that kind of stuff. And I always admire that. I think that's kind of cool. But
yeah,
that's fun to do sometimes.
But I
Just
mean,
find
how
that
much of
deal.
the
yeah, it is.
but like for coupons, right? Like how much of that has been negated by the you go to QFC or Safeway and then you put in your phone number and you get all the discounts.
Yeah.
Automatic.
I mean, isn't that all the
yeah.
coupon? Like, is the coupon doing
Yeah.
anything on top of that?
There is other things that you can scan with the QR code. Is that what they call it, guys? QR codes or something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And that goes to your anyway, and that I don't know. It's way too complicated. I can, if I can just get out self checkout without banging on the machine, I consider it a good day.
It's horrible. The worst is Whole. I don't know. Do you shop at Whole Foods ever?
No, God.
Yeah.
No,
I go to Whole
I
Foods
can't afford.
sometimes, but then you get a discount at Whole because they Amazon bought them. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can get a
I didn't
discount at
know
Whole
that.
Foods, right?
Oh, yeah.
But the discount sucks. It's like
Yeah.
it's like maybe 5 cents off $100. I mean, you never get anything good. It's not like like Safeway. You see it, and you're like, whoa, I saved a bunch of money, right?
Right.
It's not that way at Whole Foods. And then it's the hardest one, like you said, the QR code. So you have to go on your app and find your Amazon Prime. They don't just remember your phone number. So it's like so much work. You're like, okay, wait, I got it. And you're holding up the line, and it takes forever. You finally scan it, and they're like, oh, you got 16 cents off. And you're like, Jesus. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, they do that on purpose. At Pick and Save, they'll do that where it's like you get one discount if you use your, value card.
Right.
But then there's a third price if you also open the app and redeem the app card. And I'm just like, I'll get to the checkout and I was like, yeah, this one had that weird sale. And it's like, oh, did you open the app and log in? And I'm just like, I'll just pay for it. This is fucking stupid. Are you
I know.
No.
I know. They're doing that at pharmacies now. You can get and it's scary. Well, I wanted to sign up for my booster. I don't want to get a shot at a grocery store. I'm sorry. It just doesn't seem right.
You don't want Billy the bag boy looking for your...
No, I just don't, I don't want to, and if I do, I'm going to take my shirt all the way off and stand there in my bra with my arm out. Just if you're going to make me do this at the fucking grocery store, then here we go. You're going to go play by my rules.
It is alarming. I saw the one at Safeway. It is alarmingly close where they were giving the COVID shots to the fish counter. Like, it's like very close.
And then it's like they said, oh, you can sign up online. So I tried to go online, but their Wi-Fi in the store is so bad you can't get online. We can't. It's like, well, what? No. So I come back and I sign up online, and then they canceled it because they didn't have any supply. It's just like, this is so stupid. I used to go to doctors or go to clinics to get your shots.
Yeah.
We're all looking for shots now. We're all having, boosters and stuff like that. But anyway, that's the other thing is the pharmacies and the grocery store. I'm not sold on them.
Oh, have you not had your booster yet? Are you still looking for a place?
No, I have no. I
You did
finally
get it.
got, but I got it at a regular drugstore.
That's what you got to do. There was a place by mine, just like an independent pharmacy, and it was just walk-ups. There was a long line, but they moved pretty quick, and they didn't care. You know how they have that thing where they're like, wait 20 minutes in case you're
Yeah,
that shit's over. They're like, get the hell out of here.
Get
We
out.
don't care what happens.
Buy
Here.
something. You know, I play with the
Yeah.
I play with the you know the pressure machine, the blood pressure machine.
Yeah.
I play with all the canes.
Yeah.
You know, I walk down the laxative aisle and ask people their suggestions. You know, if you know, have you taken this? Is this fast acting? Because I need one. Should I take it now?
You look like you
Way
know.
later. Yeah,
You look like you know your way around the
You
laxative
look like you're
aisle.
backed up. All right, we're shopping for the same thing. What can we? I like to do that. I don't want to. You know, stand next to the day old bread that they're selling on.
Yeah, the bread.
Yeah, that rack that they put out that's from the deli and here's
The pharmacists or the booster shot experience was so different from the first two shots, COVID shots. It was much less celebratory and exciting, and there's no stickers, there's no I got in fact the pharmacist
get a sticker.
I know. I was like
a sucker. Didn't
No.
get nothing.
I wasn't there's no more you're doing your civic duty. It was just sort of like
Yeah.
like going to the DMV. But the pharmacist, he was so over it. Someone asked, because it was a Moderna shot, was all they had. They came out and said to like it was the catch of the day or something. Like,
Yeah.
hey, today, we only have Moderna today. So if anybody's looking for the Pfizer, you got to come back tomorrow. But so this guy had only had Pfizer. He had the Pfizer shots originally.
Mm-hmm.
So his question was, is it okay if I've had Pfizer to get the Moderna? And the pharmacist goes, sure, why not?
This is what we know. I know.
Who knows? The world
know.
seems like it's ending, but go for it.
After he gives the shot, he's like, "Hey, will you call me back and let me know
Yeah.
if there's anything weird that happened to you, just so for future reference?"
Just like if you grow a tail or something.
Yeah, that'd really help us out if you
Yeah. Jesus, I
contributed
know.
your story.
And I don't have
I
to
know.
sound like such an indifferent asshole when people ask me.
It's just it never ends.
Well, hopefully it will. Hopefully
Yeah, it
will
will.
end.
I mean,
hopefully it will end. But,
it'll end one way or the other,
yeah, it's. I know.
That's right.
I know.
No, but it's like those people who I was trying to come up with something for this on stage. I can't get it to work, but it's like those people who are mad that there's a third, they took the first two shots, but they're like, where do you draw the line? Where does it end? And I want to be like, it doesn't end. There's no end.
Why don't you ask the people that had malaria?
Right.
Yeah.
This shit goes on forever.
It goes on forever.
You just go and get shots. That's life,
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Gas prices
Pay
go
your
up.
bills, yeah. You pay
Yeah,
your bills.
it
When is
sucks.
this going to end?
Yeah, your mortgage payments go on for 30 years, all this shit. It goes on and on and on and on. You just have to find some joy. Or you
You
can't.
do. You do. And yeah, it's and I'm such an old curmudgeon. I don't have a filter. And it's people say that, women say that. I hate it when the 20-year-olds go, I don't have a filter. I'm going, oh, you don't know what not having a filter is yet. Because
Right. But I look
it-
forward to that, I feel
Well-
it happening to me slowly. I feel
well,
I
it's not
do.
so much a filter with you guys. It's more like you're just you don't give a fuck. You just don't care anymore. I mean, you get to that point where
Right.
you know what your limit is. People who are seeking out to actually have a life, a good life. They just start filtering out the crap that's coming at them all, and you just know your limits. And I appreciate that. I think your generation has learned that so much faster than we ever did.
Well, it's probably all the self-help shit, like all the people very focused on themselves. They have time to
Well, we went from the 1950s to absolutely fucked up angry. That's what from the 50s to the 60s, we didn't have a buffer.
right.
There was no buffer. It was all of a sudden Vietnam, Kennedy gets shot, Bay of Pigs, nuclear holocaust. It was all just bam right on top of you, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody was ready to process that. They, you know, these guys, the guys that were my age, you know, the week before they got their notice, their draft notice, you know, were planning on whether to take a limo to prom, you know.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now they're being given a gun and saying, we're going to teach you how to kill. So, I mean, there was just, you know, that's why I think you've had this logical, you've had parents that have taught you, you know, to weigh your, I'm getting too serious. I always do this.
No.
But I just think you've had, I appreciate the upbringing that the Gen Xers, the Gens and the Gen Zs, and I think you guys have had a calmer, you've been taught logic. You've been taught to be logical.
Well, you know, some people, I guess.
Well,
You
some.
hope that it's, yeah.
There's another side to it, obviously, that's devastating. We've all had friends that just came from terrible home lives. But as far as the comic goes, because I really don't talk to anybody else but comics. But you know, I am in awe of your generation. You're wordsmiths. You're sensitive. You know.
Well, that's an interesting perspective because, like, sometimes you hear comics who've been doing it for a long time hate the current comedy, or like, and I'm sure there's some comedy you don't like everybody. This comedy I don't like from all generations. You know, not asking you to like. Okay, who it is?
Oh, I had to sit and listen to Mort Saul rip us apart one whole day. I mean, just
yeah,
you know, it happens with when something changes in comedy. There's more storytelling now in comedy. Right. You know, the setup punchline isn't the same. See, now we're back to comedy, but you know, but I appreciate that because somebody said, "Oh, this guy's such a great storyteller." And I started thinking about why is the comedy now so much more of a storytelling scenario? There's not the setup punchline, setup punchline, you know. There's not that you got to get so many laughs within so many seconds, you know, that kind
I
of
think
thing.
a lot of it is just it's been drilled into our heads that you can't just tell jokes that anyone could tell. You have to tell us who you are. That's like the big thing. All these festivals and industries, like who are you? What's your voice? I think
Right.
that's ingrained. So it's
Is
like,
that-
well, I had to
And
talk
why-
about my life, and that's lends itself to stories instead of.
And why are you different? You know,
Yeah.
because
Right. You
like
have to
you
stand
said, there's
out.
so many more comedians now, so it's like your story has to be so like a boring white guy like me is really searching for like,
You're
yeah, I
anything but
think
boring.
something happened to me once.
No,
I broke
No.
my nose in high school, and I'm gonna do a one-man show about that. You know, it's like there's a temptation to try to like extrapolate bigger, but then that's when
Yeah.
you just kind of have to realize who you are. And
no,
just,
but
like,
you guys know both. You know both forms. You know both forms. You know that if you stand back and watch a show, I'm going to use Andrew as I'd love to see you live. I really want to see you live, Johnny, because I think I bet you're just hysterical. I like the stuff I saw. But okay, so Andrew's at this festival that I ran this summer, and he's closing the show. And what
Andrew was? Andrew was closing the show?
he was closing the show. Everybody did 20 minutes though. That's the thing is
Yeah.
nobody had
Oh,
more
okay,
time.
I get
that's
it.
how I was able to do it. I only had.
So he
But
went
that's not
last,
true.
is what you're
But
saying.
he was the name also. He was the draw.
Right.
So and so he had to sit through. I think I had 5 comics on. Right, you were like the 5th comic. I only ran
Yeah.
5 a night, and he was standing in this. We're in this parking lot or in this street kind of situation at a brew pub, and there's a fence right next door, right across the street, and there's a playground and a school. You sat there and culminated an opening line that absolutely just because you followed a good act and they had a good set.
Oh, everybody was funny. Yeah.
And you walked on stage and you just quietly just went, and I just knew, no, he wrote that in about 3 seconds. He was standing at this gate and he's been watching this back and forth, and you just boom and opened this. And see, that takes somebody who knows timing, how to set up a joke, It doesn't have to be a story. It's just an observation, bam, boom, and blew it up. It was
But-
like, it's brilliant.
Well,
Not
it's-
too many comics do that anymore.
It's good when it works, but it's also a defense mechanism for me, because
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but an opening line, like a good one that you just have every night all the time, is hard for me. I never have like a good. So usually my opening.
Well, what do you mean it's hard for you? It's hard for you to do? Or
It's hard for me
you
to have one.
to find?
So one, you know,
Is it hard to come up with one that works every time? Is that
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
saying? Okay.
It's hard for me to just go on and tell a joke from my act immediately. There's a temptation to do a lot of preamble, or it just.
That's great.
But so the solution, or the thing that makes it easier, is to just try and get in through the room. You know what I mean? Get in
Right.
through the act before you. Something happened. It's
Right.
almost, and then it's also like, it's like how improv kills every time, even though
Yeah.
if you watch it later, it's not that funny, because it's like, the audience is all, oh my God, this just happened. This is happening
Yeah.
right now. And you get like extra credit, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I find, even if you're doing like, I always think like, even if you're doing like a late night spot, or if you're doing a big show or a competition or something, it's almost always better to try and do something quick right away that just happened that night. You're going to get more times out than not, it'll work out for you. Even if it's
Yeah.
not like the funniest thing in the world, people respect it. And
But
Yeah.
but you have to know your craft. That's the thing, is that you have to
yeah,
know
that's true.
you
Yeah.
have to have the chops to be able to stand back and do that.
Yeah.
And do it consistently. If you're going to, if you're especially if you're following a better act.
Yes. Or
That's
or,
really
or
important.
even if not better, like so different. Like, so sometimes I'll follow like in Vegas, it was a few months ago, but there was this, she was really funny but super dirty, right?
Oh,
Really-
I know who you're talking about. She's the one that
Oh, yeah, and she's
stormed out in the middle of your act took her bag and I know who you're
but
talking about.
she's hilarious, but
Yeah.
and then
No,
and then
she's really dirty, and they put her in front of you.
yeah. And
Really
you know, and the club doesn't care, because they're like, that's not their club, isn't worried about being clean. I just happen to like work cleaner or whatever. And so so the challenge is like, okay, well, how do you follow that? Well, you got to say something. You can't just launch into your act, you
yeah.
know, you have to like comment on how different this experience is about to be and try to find a funny way to do it, because otherwise they're going to stare at you like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
See, I'm just a walking contradiction anyway. People, I
Well-
walk on stage and people go, "Is she lost? Is there something wrong with her?
Huh?
Does she have dementia? Where is she? What does she belong to?" You know, people look around to see if there's somebody looking for their mother or their grandma.
No, do you?
and that's-
You must like that a little bit though, like, because you do a lot of these Portland shows and all the, you know, there's these. I mean, in Portland, in the city, so the crowds and the comics, they all look a little certain way. A lot of them are younger than me, you know, and then you know you're gonna go up there and just murder. But there's probably that few seconds where this really much younger crowd is looking at you, going like, "Okay, what is this gonna be?"
Well,
you know what
that's
I mean?
happening all over anyway. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't have to be in Portland.
Right.
You know, they're not used to seeing a 70-year-old woman walk on stage. And when I say
So you
walk,
must
I mean,
love
I'm
that
being, I'm being generous with myself when I say walk on stage. I waddle on stage, and immediately find my little stool that I schlep that around with me. I look like an idiot, but I have a little stool that's built just for me. And anyway, so yeah.
But you must love that, because you know you're about to rip it. And so there's that half a second where they're doubting you, and you're like, "Oh yeah, okay, just wait, you dumb."
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
yeah, I know that they're judging me because I'm the biggest judge. I'm the most judgmental person I know. So I know they're judging me, and that's fine, you know,
Right.
and yes, that it gives me an advantage. And it has also given me advantage when I do follow a funnier act. And that's, I mean, now it does. There was years ago where I used to have a bow in my hair, a big, I mean, I look like a Cabbage Patch doll that had been assembled by someone on meth. I just was not quite put together when I first started stand-up. Had a big, big bow in my hair, big Madonna bow in my hair, and I looked like an idiot. And somebody
Johnny
said,
had the same thing.
did he? Did
Yeah.
Johnny?
Yeah, when
did
he
you always-
started, a big
Did you always
bow.
have? Did you put little barrettes in your beard and stuff?
Sure.
Yeah.
I tried it all.
I just think that I knew that to be listened to, I had to be a cartoon, because I wasn't pretty, I wasn't shapely, I was always chubby and fat, and I was short. And I mean, I knew this about myself, but I'd been an actress for 9 years professionally. So I knew how to take a pause and let people soak this in, and then let it, then let them hear me.
So you're saying you've always kind of been messing with the expectations of the audience, and so now you do it just different way, but you can still.
I don't know how much time we have. Oh, it's almost time to quit.
No, well, you know what? We do a little. If you want to stick around, we do a little post-show banner thing for the Patreon. So
Okay.
we can do a little bit. If you have time, you can do a little bit more. But yeah, we should wrap it up there. Do you have anything you want to plug? Do you have anything you want to? Any shows?
Well, I was
coming up?
impressed. You guys have done. Is it 80? Are you on your 85th?
What
This
are we
is
on?
85.
This is 85. Yeah.
Yeah, because 85. Well, I'm a subscriber.
Wow.
And,
Thank you. And you have your own great pod. Yeah, plug your podcast. You have your own great podcast.
Our podcast has been going for. We're on 190.
Ooh.
We just
Wow.
launched 190th.
You just had to point out our number before
No.
yours.
Yeah, but you have more subscribers than we do. Art Krug and I started in stand-up. We've been friends for almost 40 years. We did theater before that, and then we started stand-up. We were roommates. We started stand-up a week between each other, and he's my podcast partner and my best friend, and it's called Stop Me If I've Heard This. And it's about old comics aging and still trying to stay relevant.
Oh, nice.
Have you've done 190 episodes straight?
Yeah,
You've
we're
done
no
them-
quitters. We're no quitters. We got 12 subscribers.
That's
but
great.
We're not going to quit. We're not quitters.
I know. Don't trust me.
I don't care. I don't have a Patreon. What the hell
I
is that? Patreon.
Well,
I know.
you don't
We'll
wanna
talk
look-
in post-show.
We'll tell you about it.
Anyway, I know what Patreon is, but
But if everybody listening to this, go watch Susan anywhere you can. You're
Oh,
the
you're so
funniest comedian in the world. You're the last person I want to follow. I'll tell you that much right
That's
now.
not
so.
true.
Did we say
It
full
is
name
true.
Susan Rice? Did we say that at the beginning? Susan
Yeah, I
Rice.
did. Susan Rice.
That's right.
Yep, Susan Rice. Look her up.
Johnny, come to Portland.
I know.
I know. I will.
Tell
I
him.
want to. I will.
Okay.
I've been waiting for Andrew to invite me, and it hasn't come yet.
Well,
He's
if I
not
did-
big on house guests.
I'm gonna get that sofa bed from Susan, and then I'm gonna have you.
There you go. If the festival comes off again, maybe we'll invite
Yeah,
Johnny
we'll
up
have
to
Johnny
do-
out.
have
Yeah,
Johnny out.
we'll do
So-
we'll get Art on.
Awesome.
We'll do a big foursome.
We'll just have.
Do it.
Well, it'd be fun to have him out to do stand up too. So
Oh yeah,
thanks a lot for having me, you guys.
of course. Thank
Of
you, Susan.
I've said that many times to many men.
Well, we're gonna invite you back
Okay.
here after. So,
Okay.
Johnny, do you have anything, or you good?
I just want to plug Omaha Funny Bone, December 22nd and 23rd.
Oh, tell Jeff
7:30 show.
hello.
What's that?
Tell Jeff hello. Is he still running the Bone? Jeff Johnson? No.
Nope.
Nope,
Colleen.
Oh, Colleen,
Jeff Johnson
okay.
does Penguins. In
Is
season.
he still in Penguins? Yeah. Okay. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. He's still. I don't know if Penguins is open right now.
Okay.
He's looking for a spot. I'm not sure.
Well, anyway.
Penguins
thanks.
is up there for dumbest name. No, right? I mean, I'm
did-
sure it's a
I
great
did-
club,
I
but
did, I did Penguins when it first opened, and I did it for years.
did you make fun of the name, or you just?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Never understood it.
wasn't
Don't you
a
like it
club,
when
no.
a club specifically asks you not to make fun of something about either their name or the fact that their stage is broken or whatever, and you're like, you could just fix it rather than ask everyone not to make fun
Yeah.
of it.
or
Take our ammo away.
and not only that, I mean, do you know who you're talking to? You're
Right.
going to tell a comic to not do something? Well, you might as well just hand him the mic and tell him to get on with it, because that's what's going to happen. Anyway, let's go. Thanks
All
a
right,
lot.
that's it. Thank you, Susan. Bye, everybody. Thank you for listening
Bye,
to
everyone.
The Cavalry.
The cavalry.